Phoenix here, recapping Club World Cup match day 3. The group stages have come to an end. We have the knockout bracket. I'll make a full video tomorrow on my predictions, my spoilers on the knockout bracket from this point onwards, because of course there are some changes to the original one that I made before the tournament started. But match day 3, we need to talk about a few things, because there's quite a lot that we have learned from this final match day. Beginning with, well, Monday now, Group B. I felt for Atletico. For me, it's a shame in a way the way they went out. Obviously, they beat Botafogo, but they go out because of the direct head-to-head between the 3 teams. They didn't do enough, but I don't think it's panic stations yet. For Atletico, it's very clear what they need. They need a left back. They need another midfielder, specifically a defensive one. Another centre back. I'd say those are the priority. And Griezmann, with respect, time's up. PSG obviously got the job done themselves. They done what was expected of them. And they go through, of course, to the next round. Tuesday was where we're seeing the beginning of the drama, because Bayern Munich rested players to start with, and soon as I seen this lineup, I'm like, I was skeptical. I thought it would be a draw, this one. I didn't expect Benfica to win. Obviously, Trubin had a magnificent game, but it became very evident that there's certain players on Bayern Munich who cannot continue into the next season. And primarily, I'm looking at these 2 right here, which, of course, it seems like Bayern have already decided, and I covered in yesterday's video about Bayern Munich. But also, I'm concerned about the defense, because Stanisic, I don't think, can play centre-back. Whenever I've watched this guy play centre-back, he seems to be getting cooked. This guy, I said yesterday, I think he's one of the worst signings Bayern Munich have ever made. I mean, he is truly shocking. And even when the big guns came on, Kane had that big chance that he missed. Obviously, Olise is the only one that seems like he can make something happen. Bayern were my pick to win the tournament before it started. But I have to question everything now, because Megamind, I don't know if I can trust him. I never trusted him. But I felt good about Bayern heading into this tournament. I thought that they'll be more well-rested than the other teams. But there's big question marks. Credit to Benfica. After the first game, there was a lot of criticism, but they've ended up topping the group to set up a game against Chelsea, which should be very interesting. Then in the evening, of course, Boca Juniors had a tremendous choke. We'll get a little bit into Argentinian football, because, of course, not many expected Boca to go through and maybe account for the goal difference, but at the very least, you got to win the football match. Then, of course, this group had all the drama. For those of us that were up at 3 a.m. in the morning watching this, incredible. Inter Miami continue to surprise me. They take a 2-0 lead. Luis Suarez rolling back the years, scoring a goal basically identical to the one he scored against Bayern Munich. But speaking about that Bayern Munich game, it will be PSG next for Inter Miami. It's a huge ask, of course. It's a huge ask. All I'm asking for is, please, for the love of God, do not get embarrassed. I cannot afford to see another 8-2 or something like that, like Messi had to endure. But this is a team that have already overachieved. They've silenced their critics. But that collapse at the end, that's obviously the big concern for Inter Miami. Because they go, take a 2-0 lead, looked extremely comfortable, then bang, 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 and it's over. But I like how good they are on the ball. But PSG is going to be a team that obviously they haven't faced anybody on that level before. Was a bit disappointed with Estevao. I wonder if the Messi aura played a part in it. A little bit kind of like Lamine Yamal maybe when he faced up against Portugal and Cristiano Ronaldo. It seemed like they were not quite the same players. But of course, Palmeiras topped the group, Inter Miami second. I had Palmeiras topping the group in my original prediction, but I had Porto finishing second, so that was a massive surprise. And full credit, of course, to both of these teams. They went out fighting. Then the following day, Wednesday, we're seeing an absolute snooze fest in both of the Group F matches. I was so disappointed with Mamelodi Sundowns. I was convinced they were going to win the game. I don't think Fluminense are that good. They can defend, but they're not that good. But it's almost like Mamelodi Sundowns were happy with the draw, which, it's a draw that done nothing for them. They just were not the same Mamelodi that we're seeing in the other two matches. Dortmund, as always, doing everything they can to ruin all our bets. I just don't get it. Like, it's a team for me, they're in big trouble. Like, it's just eternal chokers. You watch these guys, I mean, chance after chance after chance missed. Watch out for that game against Monterrey. I think they could be in trouble. But I guess no surprises in Group F. Dortmund top it, Fluminense second, which was many people's expectations before it started. Then came the Esperance-Chelsea game. And I must confess, I was impressed again with Chelsea. There's a couple of players here I want to shout out. This kid right here, the way he was coming out with the ball, very impressive. Only 19 years of age, allows Chelsea to, of course, build up in the back three that they want to do, but he's also comfortable playing wide. Enzo Fernandez completely ran the show, of course, but Liam Delap is the main focus point because I like his movement. I was skeptical about the transfer. I still have doubts. My main concerns are that I felt like Chelsea needed someone better, someone more ready, someone more proven. But this kid, there's no, okay, he's 22, but like there's no denying that he's got something that we haven't really seen from a Chelsea striker, maybe since Diego Costa days. And I know we've been through this, is he the one to break the curse? And then it turns out he's not. But the goal that he took, his movement in particular, if you watch Chelsea play, I was impressed. But overall, I still have reservations. Even though I was impressed with certain individuals, the way Maresca sets up his team, it's like there's going to be a game like the Flamengo one, you get the feeling. And if that's going to be the Benfica one, then Chelsea could get sent back in immediately. There's still inconsistencies within the team. But they rested players and they got the job done. Then we had, LAFC Flamengo. Flamengo were the better team. They rested players. I really like Flamengo. I think that Flamengo-Bayern game could be fireworks. I think Flamengo are the strongest non-European team left in the competition. But of course, it'd be a tough challenge against Bayern. Then the following day, my Inter were in action against River Plate. And wow. Before the game, I expected us to draw. I didn't think Inter would win. But when Monterrey took the lead, River Plate, it meant that they had to come out. And the problem when you play against Inter, if you're going to come out, unless you're PSG, we can make you pay. And that's exactly what we've done. Key football is starting to take shape. I told you even in the first couple of match days, even after the game against Monterrey, I was liking what I'm seeing. And the trend continues. He's playing youngsters, which is something we haven't seen at Inter since the Balotelli days, and it was just him even back then. But more importantly, we'll see if it continues, of course, into the season, but more importantly, he's very proactive with his substitutions. Inzaghi, what would happen when Bastoni gets a yellow card? Bastoni gets subbed off, and we concede. Kivo keeps him on, and he scores a goal, which, by the way, no other defender, no other centre-back can score apart from Gvardiol, I suppose, if you want to consider him, and maybe Dean Huijsen. But either way, nutmegging an opposition defender is unbelievable. It was a tough game. River Plate, of course, both River and Boca going out is disappointing for Argentinian football. River would have been expected to go through. It goes back to that Monterrey game. They should have done more in that. But of course, the main player I want to talk about is this man right here. I've mentioned him before. Italy are dying for a striker. And I believe they have their striker now. Camarda could be soon following in his footsteps. He's playing for Milan. But what separates Francesco Pio Esposito from the others is his physical stature already. He's, against River, it was going to be tough, right? Like, they're going to be aggressive. The referee was an absolute disgrace, by the way. But he almost grew more into that. Like, he loved that. And I seen a comment after the game of him saying, like, he loves that. That's what makes him feel at home. And this is a player who, even the goal, very well taken. If we spend 40 million on Rasmus Højlund when we have Pio Esposito at home, I'm going to lose my shit with this management. He has to stay. Keep him at all costs. Lauti was wasteful, as always. But then, of course, Sucic came on, minute 62. Another player to watch out for Inter. Phenomenal with the ball. Physical as well. Can run. Reminded me of a Milinkovic-Savic when I was watching this performance. That acceleration as well, though, is something extra that he has. I told you guys about him, and I'm very excited to see him in action. Then we had the Dumfries-Sakuna duel at the end, which was absolutely crazy. Initially, I thought Dumfries was running all the way to the tunnel, but it turns out, or he ran away from Acuna, but it turns out that he's like, yeah, let's go, throw hands in the tunnel. Alas. Good performance. Inter top the group. Very, very satisfied with that. Monterrey surprised me. I had them finishing bottom. It turns out they're true. And like I said, I fancied their chances against Dortmund. Then, of course, came the big game. Juventus City. I had to rewatch this because I had a Football Manager save during the game. I've got City winning the Premier League next season. And I think City are favourites for the Club World Cup. What I seen yesterday, that's not normal. Of course, people will claim, oh, Pep needed 500 million, whatever, to come back. But fact of the matter is, this is a manager who, the reason why he's the greatest of all time is that he's never, ever sat still. He's always looking forward. And you could see already a completely different Manchester City to what we've seen before. That freaking cretin typing in my chat. Moron. This is a City team who seem to be inspired by Hansi Flick's Barcelona last season with the high line they're playing, but also inspired by Luis Enrique's PSG with the quick forward passing that they're playing. Eight Nouri looks like a phenomenal signing. Rodri and Reindeers are going to be an absolute cheat code together. But he even had the wingers cooking. And massive shout out to the cameo from Erling Haaland. When he came on in that second half, wow. That is why I say, for me, he's clearly the best striker in world football and the most disrespected player in world football. As for Juventus, unlucky! These guys thought they were back because they beat Al Ain. And with that Casablanca, then they come up against a proper team and bang, slapped silly. I cannot wait for them to see them go up against Real Madrid next and get sent backing home where they belong. Speaking about Real Madrid, three managers, like I said, I wanted to highlight. Christian Kivu, Pep Guardiola, and of course, Xabi Alonso. That game, that first half especially, those first 45 minutes, better than any Ancelotti game we've seen in the entire of the last season. It seems the ideas are clear from Xabi. He wants to play a back three and three in midfield. And the three midfielders, wow, it doesn't take a rocket science, right? To figure out that, yeah, Arda Güler has to be central. That's his best position. And my, oh my, that first half. Bellingham, wow. Obviously, Ancelotti had him playing further forward, but that's the Bellingham that we seen at Dortmund. The complete midfielder, winning the ball back and playing those incredible passes, even getting on the end of chances. Fran Garcia, he looks like a completely different player. And this is why managers are the most important in modern football, because they can revolutionize a player. Under Ancelotti, he was a disaster. Under Xabi, he's looking like Marcelo. I couldn't believe what I was seeing. And then, of course, the two up front. Vinicius, hands in the air. You know how critical I've been. Missed an opening chance. but then was incredible following that. But the biggest shout out, Gonzalo Garcia. Wow, wow, wow. Que jugador. Very smart, incredibly well taken goal. He's going to stay at Real Madrid. Obviously, that is very clear. I worry about Endrick's future at the club. But this is needed. This is exactly what Real Madrid needs. Someone that's going to do the dirty work. My question is, can Mbappe and Vinicius work together in a similar system, or do both of them need Gonzalo Garcia? My feeling is the latter, but it's going to be interesting to see how Xabi continues to develop that. But much love to Xabi. It's exactly what I predicted before the tournament. We're going to see a completely different Real Madrid. And after a shaky first game, immediately he reacts and he makes the necessary changes. The bracket looks as follows, of course, now. And like I said, we're going to go into more detail on this knockout prediction tomorrow. As for Matchday 3, of course, I can't leave you guys without a team of the week and the flops 11. Joe, the Ulsan goalkeeper, if it wasn't for him, they'd have conceded 7 against Dortmund. Tosin, Bastoni, 8. Nouri, Savinho, Vinicius on the wings. Enzo and Bellingham ran the show. Berterame for Monterrey was incredible. Ali was incredible against Porto with a hat-trick. And Luis Suarez rolling back the years. Obviously, Haaland in particular, Esposito as well, unlucky to miss out on this. Even left backs, we had Svensson, who was phenomenal for Dortmund. Fran Garcia, like I mentioned, unlucky to miss out. My flops 11, Ederson. I still have big reservations, I always will. That seems to me City are 2 players away from dominating, a goalkeeper and a right back. We'll see what happens. I mentioned such a Bowie disaster. Kalulu and Kelly, these guys so hoisted to have these 2. Di Marco was one again, let down for Inter. He's just not been the same. Terrible performance. McKennie got ran ragged against City. Palinia still not working out for him at Bayern. Dewsbury Hall, I had to watch 90 minutes of the sad excuse of a footballer playing on the right. Thomas Muller, Leroy Sané. For Bayern fans, thankfully, they're on their way out. It was sad to see. And Girassi, I mean, how on earth he didn't score a hat-trick? He didn't even score a single goal. I will never, ever know. But that is it from the Phoenix. I'll catch you guys with the bracket tomorrow. Let me know if you'd make any changes to the team of the week or flops 11, as always.